Hello, YouTube. Hello, social media. This is going to be a rather special broadcast on the truth, the real truth. So let me just begin by indicating we all know that Donald Trump won in a landslide. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. Our country is still deeply divided. And the hate on the left continues. It showed again how much hate there is on his first day. And not only on his first day, but all through the buildup to the election. No one wanted on the left Donald Trump to be president. We all know that through history, we remember what they tried to do. Tried to keep him in court in New York, where they wanted to, and that's the whole purpose behind the New York case. They wanted desperately to label him a felon, even though the misdemeanor in New York State has expired several years ago. So a U.S. prosecutor stepped down to New York, tried to bootstrap that to create that felony. Only one problem is that Alvin Cheeseburger Bragg has yet to indicate what that other crime is. We're still waiting to this day. In Georgia, Fani Willis is off the case. What happened in Florida at Mar-a-Lago, where they tried to infiltrate and actually did take a number of boxes totally, completely by the Justice Department under Biden's orders. All of that is really, really bad. All right. But we know it's not unexpected. You know, the hate on the left and all these things. I mean, you have lunatics listening to these liberal media, liberal social media, you know, the media, the left media, which is directly tied to the Democratic Party. They've been saying that, oh, Donald Trump is like Hitler. He's going to bring World War III and all these other disgusting things about a man who has already been president. So, but you hear all these things, and, you know, I listen to them. Of course, I find them utterly disgusting. what they're saying about Donald Trump because I know who Donald Trump is. You know, back when he was running in 2016, when he is saying these things, I was thinking in my mind a lot like you people out there, the same very things that were flowing through your mind. And here comes Donald Trump saying the things that most of us on the conservative side are thinking. But like I said, so many disgusting things spoken about Donald Trump. And, you know, they're saying these things because they hate the man. All right. But the problem is when you broadcast those things, all right, just to feel good about yourself, there are people out there who are lunatics listening to, oh, Donald Trump is Hitler. He's just like Hitler. He's going to do World War III. He's dangerous. So what do the lunatics do? What did they try to do? Based upon what they were told. They tried to assassinate him. Butler, PA. I'm sure you've seen the video several times. The assassin got his head blown off. Again, another assassination attempt in Florida. Suspicious guy hanging behind the bushes. I caught him too. They'll probably never see the light of day either. You know? So, but the reason why I'm all bringing this up right now, all right, is because there's so much hate on the left. The very first day Donald Trump became president, and he gave his inaugural address, he indicated several things. There are two genders, male and female. All right. And he also referenced the 1,500 hostages. That's what he calls them, hostages. People who were incarcerated either on the 6th of January or the 7th of January, depending upon when they were captured. And these people, patriots all right, were upset because they believed that an election was ripped from them. So it's been 4 years of the Biden-Harris presidency. And as soon as it began, you know, I wasn't very happy with the results. But, you know, I didn't flip out uncontrollably like you see so many on the left flip out and lose total control. Shaking, screaming, making comments of threatening nature. You know, I don't know any other conservative like myself who flipped out like the left flipped out when Donald Trump was well on his way. All right, even election night, people were losing their minds on the left. All right, the right and the conservative individuals like myself. Myself, I mean, I was kind of on pins and needles until it was quite evident that he was going to win, because after all, the Democratic Party was so sure of themselves about that blue wall. And that blue wall became a shattered blue wall, almost red. I would say a large degree, anyway. Okay, so Donald Trump won. All right, not only won, he blew the doors off. All right, popular vote, but that's not why I'm here in this special video to talk to you about. I'm here to talk about the hatred that even is going on, and it will go on. And it'll be watched very closely by the left. But here's the thing. You know, I'm about to share with you several statements that my wife received the very first day from a relative of hers on my side of the family. All right, just as vile. And, you know, the whole gist of this video is do not believe in someone else's narrative and make it your own. All right, because when these liberals watch television and they listen to things like CNN, PMS, NBC, or the soft-spoken words of NPR over the radio, whatever's indicated, true or false, most of it's false. But these people, they don't have any ability to stop and think, hey, is what I'm being told on the radio, or is what I'm watching on TV real? Or is it someone else's narrative? They just do not have that ability to understand why it's being said. They simply believe it as fact. Within a microsecond, it becomes their narrative. I'm going to prove that point. Stand by. Before I go ahead and prove my point, rather solidly, with total conviction, total logic, and total truth, let me just, I don't really have any hate for anybody. Not even if you're liberal or progressive, or you're from the other side of the aisle, or you're, you know, outside of the country, you want to come to the U.S., it's quite evident why. right? I have no hatred in my heart at all. But I do firmly believe that if people outside of the United States want to come to the United States, fine. But they have to do it the legal way. All right? The legal way. You can't go crossing the border like a cockroach. Sorry. I just have a derogatory view on it. And that is my derogatory view by calling them a cockroach. All right? You want to sneak in, and there's been so much crime. There's been moms and dads who have lost children at the hands of these illegals. And Donald Trump is totally correct. MS-13, another gang from Venezuela, taking over Aurora, Colorado. There's been so many killed American citizens, sons and daughters, killed with people who weren't even supposed to be here. All right, so you want to come to the U.S.? No problem. But you have to do it legally. All right? And me being a conservative goes hand in hand, all right, with family, which also goes hand in hand with America First, MAGA, Make America Great Again. There's been controversy over both. Why? What's wrong with Make America Great Again? What is wrong with America First? Most of us watching this video are in America. So why would you not want to put your country first and foremost? I don't get it. But as a conservative, as well as most conservatives out there, they have the same ideals that I do. Family comes first. Always. There's no expectation of one doing otherwise. There just isn't. There's no exception. So the reason why I'm telling you all this is because when liberals watch TV or they listen to the, liberal media on radio, TV, doesn't matter. What they're hearing and what they're watching, again, they take it inside as their own narrative. And they walk around confidently and, arrogantly believing the falsehoods as their truth. All right? Which I am about to shatter. I didn't really want to expose anybody. I've been pretty quiet. I let a lot of stuff just roll off my back. Even hurtful things. All right, just let them roll off my back, consider the source, but I can't do that no more. I don't want to do that no more. All right. Bit of context. I was friends with this relative 4 years ago. And like many out there who are watching, we all had friends on Facebook that deleted us, removed us, treated us like we didn't exist. There are some people on Facebook now who are my friends who treat me like I don't exist. But anyway, I was friends with this relative, and I shared an image of which I'll share with all you. Now, this image is of Donald Trump holding a handgun in the camera. Now, I thought it was hilarious. All right. I knew it wasn't real. I know it's photoshopped. All right. And there are a lot of things today that are drawn by AI, and a lot of folks can't tell the difference. That's today. But when you see an image of Donald Trump sitting in a chair holding a handgun at the camera, see, me as a conservative, not only like the guy, I understand him, I understand his humor. I can't wait for him to say great things about the United States, about how much better we're going to be, and why, and how he's going to get things done. But it's true. A picture is worth 1,000 words. We see action. We didn't see that in the past 4 years. We saw FEMA fail North Carolina, for example. The fires in Los Angeles and other parts of California. So, we also saw disasters when Joe Biden was president. But we didn't see Biden at those locations. Nor did we see any member of his cabinet, including with the transportation disaster, Pete Buttigieg, failed to show up with a train derailment. Hawaii also. Biden did show up, but he wasn't very helpful to the cause. It's like, you listen to what he's talking about, how he's talking, and it's not with any conviction. It's not with any empathy. I mean, hell, you could barely understand him due to him mumbling his words and, the way it's just tired. Shuffling off, ignoring the media. It just, compared to today, with Donald Trump being the 47th president, the man went to North Carolina, apologetic about what FEMA didn't do, indicated he's either going to overhaul FEMA or get rid of it because it did a horrible job. Then, same day, went out to California, all right, and spoke at a firehouse with a number of politicians, including the mayor. You know, most of it was agreeing with the president. There were a few tense moments about, not getting out there right away and, clearing a lot. And there was a few tense moments. All right. Which were, it was something to watch Donald Trump just talk and command and set things up and bring things together, not just hot air coming out of your mouth, but actually getting things done and letting people do what they want to do without any federal permit or, just you got to get out there and do it, and these people are more than willing. God bless them all who lost their houses, their lives, their memories. Okay, they still have memories, but it's very tragic. Didn't need to happen. Forestry management. Donald Trump tried to tell these individuals 4 years ago, hey, you better take care of this. They had fire hydrants in Los Angeles, no water in them. All right? Because you got the wrong people in charge. Now, whether that's elements of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and not enough know-how and knowing what you're doing, and holding a title that you really have no business holding because you don't really have the skill set or the knowledge to save lives. DEI is not going to save any lives. It's going to make you feel better about the person that you are inside, but it ain't going to do much else for emergency situations. All right? So maybe that's why California fell apart as well, Los Angeles. All right? But changes are underway. All right? Donald Trump is going to help out immensely with money, and there'll be an eye on that money to make sure it's spent correctly and efficiently. All right? That was an idea that was actually brought up at the time in that very meeting at that particular firehouse, because it was indicated then, hey, you better watch that money because you don't want it misspent, So, but anyway, the reason why I'm making this video is to, the hate out there. These people, these liberals watch TV, they listen to radio, they hear something, it becomes their narrative. They don't stop and question. Case in point, this. My wife received this from my relative the very first day. I just can't understand family. I care about having voted for a man who would do what he has done on his first day in office. Love you and Greg, but I'm crying for our country. So let me explain a couple of things about what you just saw. All right. The reason why there's outrage with this is because you were told, the liberal mind was told by the liberal idiot box, whether that's a visual idiot box known as television or an idiot box called the radio. Okay, whatever. They were told that 4 years ago, J6, the people who were rather compassionate, and yes, I'm not going to sit here and say they didn't do any damage. Of course they did. Of course. But to go so far and say that these people murdered a police officer, again, that's what this is partially about, is a little bit too far. Second part of what this is all about is guilt with a capital G. How could you vote for such a man? Look what you've done. Look, seriously. Yes, I did vote for Donald Trump, and so did my wife. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Because the alternative, I rather looked forward with quite a bit of anticipation for debate night in America with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Joe Biden fell apart mentally, cognitively. He was just a disaster. And, such a disaster that, even after the debate, I flicked over to CNN just to see what they would say. They tore him apart. They tore the man apart. Oh, he has to go. We can't have this. He was my mentor, but there's really something wrong here. And from that moment on, he went downhill. He had his chances of winning after that were so bad, all right, that a little while down the road, and I don't think he did this on his own either. I really don't. I think he was convinced. Came out, very nice speech, somewhat nice speech. Oh, I'm going to let the future, take over, acting real gracious, right? And then what happens? The future, his version of the future, is his vice president. That's the natural order of things. Okay, fine. But Kamala Harris? She was border czar. All right. No one's going to, some people on the left might debate that, but Joe Biden gave her the keys to become border czar. Go down there and handle the immigration mess. Where did she go? El Paso. That wasn't the point. In Texas, where the problem was, where the pandemic wasn't El Paso. But she went there because she didn't really want to face the music. Didn't really know what to say. give some lame speech in El Paso. Good enough. I don't really believe in being here, so I'm going to kind of, go to El Paso. So, my discontent is known. Didn't want to face the music where the issue was in several other locations, but not El Paso, Texas. And then she goes into talking about, oh, I want to look at the root causes. Who cares what the root cause is? I mean, they're coming here. They shouldn't be coming here. They're infiltrating our country. Again, I have no problem with anybody coming here legally. All right? Over 20 million of these people from all parts south. All right? And like Donald Trump said in 2016, we all know what he said. He got a lot of heat, a lot of ridicule, said some, controversial things that aren't so controversial anymore because they're the truth. They are bringing crime. Quite evident. And when they come here, we got to pay for everything, the American taxpayer. New York City. New York City was filled to the max for these people. It was a working school in New York City. Complete with children in school. Kids got kicked out. In go the illegals just to have a roof over their head. That is just plain wrong. I don't know how anybody, whether you're on the right or whether you're on the left, will you think that is a good idea. But anyway, getting back to this. All right. It's about guilt. Oh, how could you vote for such a man? Oh, how could you vote for a man who would do what he's done on his first day? What did he do on his first day? Okay. He released the 1,500 hostages, as what Donald Trump calls them, hostages. And they've been incarcerated since 4 years ago. But the outrage behind that message is that they believe that police officer Brian Sicknick was murdered because that's what the idiot box put out and broadcast over the airwaves, of which is not the truth. And that's point number one with this video. Do not believe in someone else's narrative and let it become your own. Think for yourself, question, especially if you tune into NPR or you watch CBS, ABC, NBC. Or any other hateful liberal narrative. Instead of just thinking as these people as old friends on the TV, you really know them. They went to the same college. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe. All right. These people are twisted. I'm going to prove my point about that. Here you go, folks. Medical examiner finds USCP officer Brian Sicknick died of natural causes. Okay. I'm sorry he did die. But the narrative that they want you to believe on the left is that this guy was murdered. Because that's what the idiot box told them. And they still believe that. At least certain people who are deranged and put liberalism ahead of family. Okay. Case in point, that message that I shared with you in the beginning of this video was received day one, January 20, 2025. All right. After all this time of Joe Biden's disastrous presidency, and not only his disastrous presidency, the word salad of Kamala Harris. But it didn't end there. Every day, these liberals just won't stop. Donald Trump was at a church service, and a bishop, Marianne Butt, was very nasty. She was very sarcastic, arrogant, and out of her zone. All right? So it wasn't very comfortable to sit there as president and put your country first and say that, hey, the two genders in this country are male and female, and then be ridiculed. Well, these people are, they have, special things that they do too. And of course, she was also referring to the LGBTQ community. Because Donald Trump came out and said that the two genders that are recognized by the U.S. government is male and female, as they should be. As they should be. Look, I don't care if they're out there in the community. All right? These folks, okay, who are far different than me. That's fine. I don't mind. But you can't have biological men in girls' sports. You can't have biological men dressed up as women at the elementary school doing drag show story hour. That too is wrong. All right? I'm telling you right now, it's going to be educational Armageddon if that ever comes anywhere near my granddaughter. Just saying. By the way, remember I said I would share the image of what my relative was so outraged over 4 years ago? and went ahead and removed me off of Facebook because of it, that was the image. Now, I know, like I said before, as most of you know out there, you know, that this image is photoshopped. All right. Because I have intelligence, I happen to like the guy. I believe in everything he says, so far. All right. But this image right here is photoshopped. I understand that most of you do. Most of you know, I'm sure, what a Photoshop is. Okay. But when you put family in a second seat, you don't even care if they're family or not. They may as well be somebody that you just bumped into. All right? When they put a liberal narrative far front, never mind me being in the second seat, when you put liberalism in the front seat and you see an image like this, you're going to be losing your ever-loving mind, because you're not going to be able to equate that it's not real. To them, this is as real as if someone walked up to you and did this right in front of you. There's no distinction. It's real to them. So this is the image, folks. Take a good hard look. This is the image why I was removed from my relative 4 years ago. And I don't hold any ill toward anyone, including my relative. Okay, I just don't. I don't have any hatred, but and I let all this go for 4 years. And yeah, I do think about what was done and why it was removed, and it just doesn't sit well with me because, again, I'm a conservative. All right, and I just don't understand, as a conservative, how a family member could just remove me. But because I'm a good guy. All right, I have no hate in my heart toward anyone or anything. I really don't. Am I a perfect guy? No, I'm not. I mean, I'm human, and we all make mistakes. But I want to try to keep those mistakes at a bare minimum. Bare, a little. None of us are perfect. Okay, there's only Christ is number one. Okay. So anyway, this is the image. All right. So anyway, going back to Marianne Butt, the bishop. Look how smug she is in the left, looking down at him like like God's words are flowing through your forehead and out of your mouth, and you're talking, give me a break. I support the bishop in her words. We were all once strangers in this land. And of course, the bottom, standing with Bishop Butt and defending our neighbors. You know what? It didn't take all that long. There you go, folks. Bishop Marianne Budd has been removed from the National Cathedral by the Episcopal Archdiocese of Washington. All right? It was wrong for her to preach against America. It's wrong for her to preach about LGBTQ. It's wrong for her to preach about illegals who have violated our sovereignty. Okay? It's wrong. And this is why. Okay? So, to my relative who removed me 4 years ago, I forgive you. Because it's the right thing to do. Yes, I was hurt. Still am. How could you put liberalism ahead of family? I can promise you, I never will. Ever. So there you go. Didn't want to really make this special video, but after 4 years of going through what we all went through, maybe you didn't feel it the same as most, or me, or my friends, or people like me with, a little bit more hard times. We really felt it. We didn't really like being broke all the time, going to the store with hard choices. And they told us on the left, oh, inflation's over with. It's no big deal. It was a big deal. All right. Same type of thing. Oh, there's no immigration problem. The border's secure. During the COVID pandemic, which was all about control. Oh, get the jab. You don't get the jab? No employment. And many people did get a jab because they had to be continuously employed. Do what we tell you to do. Control. Walk one way down a supermarket aisle. Control. Wear a Chinese mask for Chinese virus. That when you wear this Chinese mask, you will still smell odors. But it's going to protect you from COVID-19, though. What? And even those other masks from 3M. You couldn't really breathe 100% nose. And, I do believe the human body does require a certain percentage of oxygen to function and to breathe. And when you wore those masks for 6 to 8 hours, got that little fiberglass material. It certainly looked like fiberglass to me, which cannot, whether it's fiberglass or not, that cannot be good to breathe in. But yet, still, in this year, 2025, as well as last year, even though we're well over the pandemic, you still see people driving around their cars, by themselves wearing a mask. Yeah, okay, there are some people who, catch cold and, they wore those types of masks just to protect others from whatever they had. If they can't, take a day off or, I mean, that's fine. So don't misunderstand, the usage or the significance of wearing a mask. But during COVID, it was totally, completely ineffective. Why? Because if you can wear a mask and you can still smell odors around you, let's say you're at the gas station, you're pumping gas. All right. That you can smell that as well as many other things. And all the while you're wearing a mask to protect you from COVID 19, but you can still smell odors. So, how's it going to stop COVID 19 or anything else? It was all about control. And it was about the safety that was built up in your mind. Well, believe what we're telling you, it's the truth. So, do this and you'll be fine. Think for yourself, do your own research. And by all means, for the love of God, do not believe in someone else's narrative and make it your own. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.